What is going on, everyone? Stevo Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the greatest video game find I ever found out in the wild of all time. Like during my game hunting career, we're going to go over it, and unfortunately, it is not in this video that you can see. We can no longer hold it because it is no longer with us. We'll get into that. But first, I laid a couple others out here just to go over real quick some other great finds that I found out in the wild. And what does that mean? Out in the wild. Well, actually going and putting boots on the ground, going to yard sales, thrift stores, flea markets, etc. Not going online or Facebook Marketplace because I can find good deals almost every month on Facebook Marketplace. But I mean, actually going out there and walking around and seeing if you can find some. So we'll go over these, then we'll get into the big one at the end because it is a big one. And it's going to be a flashback. You're going to see some old footage of me from back in the day going over this pickup. But I thought it'd be fun to show you guys that and go over it. So let's get into these. All right, so starting off with the first one here was Deadpool just this past year. Like I found it for $5 at a yard sale and some other PS4 games that I needed for the collection. And at the time, this thing was going for like $100. The movie had come out and shot the price way up. I think it's come back down now. And me, I think I mentioned in other videos, I'm not super familiar with the prices of games for the PS4, like Xbox One and current generation. If there's anything rare or valuable, I really wouldn't know, except for Godzilla on the PS4. That's the only thing I knew that was really expensive. Everything else, I have no idea. I'm more of a retro guy when it comes to prices. So I had no idea it was worth this money, but yeah, $5, awesome pickup. This Def Jam Fight for New York is a pretty cool one because we just talked about Blockbuster in my last video. I bought this one from a movie stars. You know, places would sell their pre-owned items after a certain amount of time. We would start getting rid of stuff off the shelves to make room and just phase them out. And this was a store that was closing down, unfortunately, so the whole place was getting phased out. And I got this for $7.99. And back then, I even think this was a $30 or $40 game when I got it. So awesome deal for the time. And that's the other thing you have to think about with these choices that I picked. It's around the time when I got it, because there are games that could be $100 now, but back when I started collecting, they could have been a $5 game. So paying $1 for it wouldn't have been a great deal at the time. Looks good now, but back then, just a $5 or $10 game. But this one was still like a $30 or $40 game at the time. So awesome pickup there. This Game Boy complete in box, sad story for this one. As you can see, it's pretty banged up. This box has seen its better days, but it was not like that when I got it, believe it or not. When I bought this thing, it was minty, brand new, nothing wrong with it. Found it at a flea market for $5, complete in box. Sad story was that the first house me and my wife ever bought and spent most of our lives in, I had a bookshelf that I hung up on the wall. Yes, believe it or not, it was like a heavy bookshelf. And I hung that on the wall to display some games and hold some stuff. And unfortunately, one night while sleeping, that whole bookshelf fell off the wall. And this is what absorbed most of the damage. All my games and other things were fine, but my minty boxed Game Boy got demolished. So sad story there, but still a great pickup at the time for $5. What a steal. Now, this Gotcha Force, a really big one on the GameCube, and it is disc only. And this is the second time I've actually ever found this game out there or had it in my possession. First time, a buddy of mine sold me his GameCube stuff a long time ago, and I had a disc only copy. Traded it to a game store in Philadelphia to help fund my complete in box Metroid 2, Samus Returns on the Game Boy. So it went to a good cause. But I found this copy. It was in a GameCube lot when I first moved here to Washington about 3 or 4 years ago now. And it was one of the first yard sale weekends I ever did. Found this game with a Nintendo GameCube lot on an Ask. She went inside, brought it out. It had Wind Waker. I think it had a Game Boy player and the disc and stuff with it too. Really awesome score. This was a disc-only game sitting in there. I kind of just glanced over it at the time, didn't think nothing of it because disc-only games. I was more concerned about the Paper Mario and the Wind Waker and everything that was sitting in there. And they wanted 125 bucks for everything. But when I got there and started looking through it and saw this in there, I couldn't believe it. A Gotcha Force was sitting in there disc only. So another great yard sale find. But now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The best find I ever found. Like I said, we'll go back to the past and you'll see me. I think it's a clip from 13 years ago, 12 or 13 years ago on YouTube here going over it. But it was a complete in-box sealed Ninja Gaiden 3 Ancient Ship of Doom at a Salvation Army. We'll cut back to the old footage. Again, it's not the best looking footage, so bear with me. And I'm not the best in front of a camera back then, and I'm still not these days. But I'll let old Steve-O tell the story.
Story first or game first? No, I'll just show you the game. Yep. Ninja Gaiden 3, The Ancient Ship of Doom for the NES, boxed, sealed, brand new, price tag on the front, $4. Yeah, pretty amazing, right? Anyway, the other day, I had left work early because I knew I was going to be having to work some special events and everything, and I wasn't feeling too good. So I went ahead and went home. Later on that evening, we had to go back out grocery shopping. I hate going grocery shopping, hate doing any shopping. And I was feeling like crap. So I said, wife, if you want to go out, then let's at least go by the Salvation Army Family Store. That way I can have a reason to be going out. Because I never go by there, and every time I do, they never have anything anyway. But I figured, let's go by it today. Maybe they'll have something. And as soon as I walk in, I look right at the glass case that's right at the cash register. If you've been in any thrift store, they try to keep their best stuff in the glass cases and everything. This was sitting in there. And at first I thought, oh crap, well, I'm walking to it because I think they're going to be asking a buttload for it. But I get up there, $4. $4 for a sealed, and I will show you, it is sealed, but they're from about here to here. There is a slit where it is opening, but that just seems like fading over time, just the plastic stretching. But I mean, it is still sealed from the corner there and the corner there, just that little tear. But yeah, saw it in there and I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm definitely going to get that. She got it out for me, and I was worried she was going to rip the plastic off, but she didn't. She got it out so I could look at it, and I was like, I will get it and I will leave. And she gave me my debit card. She's running it through, and it's not going through. It's not going through, you guys. And I'm sitting there like, no way. This is not happening. I mean, I'm so excited because I'm a hunter, and it's like in the woods when a big buck walks by, your heart's racing. It's like finding a big buck out in the wild. And it's not working. It's like my gun's jammed, and I can't get it to fire. So she's sitting there swiping my card. She used a plastic bag, and by the time she got the plastic bag on there, it's like the 8th or 9th time, she's like, I'm sorry, sir, it's just not working, and bam, it went through. So $4, I think $4.15 with tax. I don't know if they do tax at those places or not. I got a brand new, sealed Ninja Gaiden 3, Ancient Ship of Doom.
So there you go, guys. The best thing I ever found out in the wild. Even back then, that game was like a $400, $500 game sealed. And I found it for $4 in a Salvation Army. And back then, when me and my wife were pinching pennies, just trying to get by, $4 finding something like that was awesome. And that game actually went to funding a new gaming PC for me. That's why I no longer have it. About 2 or 3 years after I found it, I had sold it and put all those funds toward building a nice gaming PC that I got many years of joy out of. So again, that one went to a good cause too, because back then I wasn't really huge into wanting to collect NES or anything like that. Do I wish I had it today? Yes, I wish I had it today still, but it was still awesome to go through the experience and have it. It just goes to show, like, people, we buy and sell our stuff all the time. Again, it's been years since I sold something out of my personal collection, but it's okay to do it if you need to. Like, go for it. And that's what I did, and it helped get me a pretty cool gaming PC. So what do you guys think of that find? But can you still find something like that today? Probably. I think the chances are really slim, but they're still out there. You just got to go out and look for it. So, what do you guys think? And what are some of the best finds you ever found out in the wild? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good weekend.